becoming a U.S. citizen, the general eligibility requirements consists of them filing the application, going through that process. Then there's an interview. Part of the interview is the test. And then after they pass the test, they have to take the naturalization oath in a public ceremony. So the general requirements are age. There's a time requirement as permanent resident. They have to have been a permanent resident for a requisite number of years. Most of the time it's 5. There are instances in which it's maybe less. Continuous residence, physical presence, good moral character, and then again the English language and the civics knowledge. We're going to get more into those. And then attachment to the U.S. Constitution. Those are the legal requirements to become a citizen. And the age requirement is one of them. Time as a permanent resident is another one. One of the ways you can tell how long somebody's been a permanent resident, this is what the card looks like. There is a block on the permanent resident since, and it has the date. So you can help one of your students figure out how long they are or have been a permanent resident. Because, like, as an example, I assume at least periodically you work with refugees. So the date on their card isn't the same as the date they went to the interview or the date they got it in the mail, because there are certain rollback provisions for refugees and for Cubans, as an example. So even though they've only had their green card for 2 years, the date may be 5 or more years in the past. So that is something to keep in mind as well. The continuous residence, that means they must have resided in the United States. If they're gone for more than 6 months, if they're gone overseas for more than 6 months, that may interrupt it. If they've been gone for more than a year, it does interrupt it. And simply what interrupting the residence means is they have to start counting again from when they come back. The physical presence is the actual time, and that's usually half of the required time. So if the time requirement is 5 years, they have to have spent at least the last 2.5 years physically present in the United States. They have to have lived where they filed from for at least 3 months. It's probably from earlier times. Some of you that have worked with folks, non-English speakers for a long time, may remember that years ago it would take literally years. And especially if you were in a crowded place like New York or LA, whereas other places like Norfolk, Virginia might be a little bit quicker, so no office shopping is kind of what that means. Good moral character, that's simply during the time, usually the 5-year period, they have to have shown good moral character, and certain arrests, let's stay with the good moral character here, certain arrests or certain crimes may have an impact on that.
What would that be?
Okay, DWI would not.
Okay.
Assault and battery on a family member would potentially be a problem. Theft is a big problem because the way they classify theft, so even shoplifting is classified as a theft offense under immigration law. So that's the one that gets most people in trouble, is the theft offenses. So that would be one example.
Using a prostitute, is that considered?
That, during the statutory period, that is actually one of the specifics that does prevent them from being a person of good moral character during the 5-year period. So, like
that's one of the questions of the
for
It is.
so for some of those things, the applicant simply has to wait it out until the offense is past the 5-year mark, and then they regain eligibility, basically.
So after 5 years of
For most.
For most.
And, right, serious offenses, real serious offenses may bar somebody forever from becoming a naturalized citizen.
Okay.
But,
I'm get better and assaulted. Fireman would be one of those, or no?
because, most likely, yes, okay,
Okay.
because, but now you're getting into, where it may not preclude them from becoming a citizen once that's more than 5 years, but it still may be something that makes them deportable. And then you're talking about, the immigration enforcement folks, which is a different agency, and, so.
How about
Thank you.
domestic violence charge?
Again, that's usually prosecuted as an assault and battery on a family member. Within the 5-year period, it could be a problem. Outside the 5-year period, it may, depending on the kind of violence involved and the length of the sentence. Again, I'm trying to keep it broad on purpose, you know, because certain cases may be different, and a domestic violence charge prosecuted in Virginia may appear different than one prosecuted in a different state. So we do want to keep it somewhat general. So, but here's you guys.